21st century learning means several different things to me. The short and easy answer would be to say we need to include more technology in our learning environments. However, this can be a bit misleading because simply adding in technology into schools doesn't automatically make 21st century learning occur. First, it means teachers have the ability to transform the student's learning environment. 21st century learning doesn't just reside in the classroom. It needs to be expanded to include places outside of the classroom that are either digital or physical. Expanding our classroom will help students to connect their learning to their life, which makes it more meaningful and lasting. It also means to provide students an opportunity to think critically and problem solve rather than provide pen to paper answers. Creating assignments that allow students to explore different ways to complete a task helps them get beyond rote memory. For example, if I assign a book for my students to read, they could create a project-based assessment. So instead of doing a written report on that book, they could create a PowerPoint with different endings or a YouTube video acting out their favorite scenes. The 21st century classroom affords students different ways to complete tasks. And finally, assessments need to shift from traditional tests where students have to repeat back what they've heard from their teacher or have read in the books. Assessments should become more dynamic rather than static. They should focus on more formative assessments that allow for ongoing revisions and evaluations. And this means that assessments are flexible and adaptable for diverse learning styles and academic abilities. I have and would use manipulative materials, which give a visual, tactile, and kinesthetic learners a chance to be involved in the learning process. They can see and be a part of the problem solving, which makes their learning more meaningful. Websites and different computer programs also offer students additional information and support when a teacher cannot be present. In order to communicate with students and parents, I use email, Google Chat, Skype, and the good old-fashioned phone call. I have worked for Folsom Cordova for 5 years and Roseville School District for 1. 3 of the 4 schools I worked for qualified for Title I money. All of the schools at which I have taught have had a high percentage of ELL and SDC students. I have planned and prepared RTI centers for my grade level for the past 2 years. At Theodore Judah, my current school, I have fundraised the last 2 years for my entire class to attend Sly Park. Many of these kids are at risk and would not be able to afford to go without the money I helped raise. I coordinated and implemented all of the fundraising events for my students during this time. I also connected on a personal level with my students by attending required and non-required school events. I was particularly active with my students at the 3 Title I schools. This involved attending some of their extracurricular activities such as softball, baseball, and football games, just to name a few.